You brought up Porco Rosso.
Like, that's like a hot guy. That's like...
He's got like how Tony Soprano is hot because he's confident.
Yes, exactly. Now I'm imagining Tony Soprano as Porco Rosso.
Oh my God, Gandolfini. It should have been Gandolfini.
Should have been.
In the American dub, I think Michael Keaton
It's
did
Michael
his
Keaton.
voice.
I think that Michael Keaton is on that because of a SAG contract. We have to take that out of the conversation. We have
Subs only.
to. This is subs over dubs. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
For the sake of our discussion, we're not getting in. We're not
Every
getting
one
into
of us
this
is a sub.
general.
I've been in...
Hello and welcome back to Staff Picks, the show where we are picking selections for our dream video rental store. And we are here today in Brooklyn, New York at Film Noir Cinema, one of the last remaining video rental stores in New York City, and it is also a working movie theater. It's a wonderful place, and I am joined by my co-host, Danielle Radford, and we're keeping things in-house with part of the regular team, with Jourdain Searles and Jordan Olds. We are shooting this during the WGA and SAG strikes. In solidarity with the unions, we do not want to discuss struck work released by the major studios, and so we are keeping our selections and categories to independent films and films produced outside the US.
So today we are going to be discussing some of the films of Miyazaki. We have all brought in one movie. We're going to be fighting it out to see which one of these is going to be inducted into the, I dare say, world's best video store ever. So now with our first pick, Jourdain Searles.
And I am Spirited Away.
Oh my God.
So this is one of, arguably like the greatest achievements in the history of humanity. Why did you choose it?
Why do you like the wheel?
Well, I like the way that it goes around and around. Really helps.
It's so sick when it does that. Oh my God.
So good, I love it so much.
Like, for some people, Disney is like the epitome of animation, but for me, there's Spirited Away. It's the one children's movie that every adult seems to respect and agree that it's good, which is difficult, actually, when you think about it. And it's a very simple story, girl with her parents eat some food, turns them into pigs, and then she has to go and save them. This is the thing that happens to all kids.
Yeah, like you do.
Meets this hot guy who also turns into a bird.
Oh my God.
Hot.
It is a rarity that an artist's most popular piece is also kind of inarguably their best. This is also his most imaginative in design and look and what it is. All of it is in there. This is one of the strangest, most popular movies ever made.
I also just loved the baths. Like, I just love the watching of the baths. Like, the whole, Japanese kind of, bath spa culture is so beautiful.
They look so comfortable and so warm. It looks so good.
Yeah, and that's gonna be something I think that's gonna come up throughout this discussion, just how freaking gorgeous these movies are.
Yeah.
And the animation is ridiculous. Every frame of friggin' painting is literal and legit for these.
And we haven't even talked about the no mask yet.
No face. Kamagi with all the long arms and the little soot creatures with the little
Oh,
eyes
so
and
cute.
the train ride scene. I could go on for so, I genuinely, okay, I think.
Here it is, let's do it!
Oh, we got him going.
So, okay, to be clear, I think Spirited Away is Miyazaki's best movie. I would put this among the absolute best movies ever made. I didn't pick it because I was like, someone else will pick it. I know it'll be in there. So I'll go with another one. But I'm like, in no universe can I argue against this. Only having seen one pick and it's not mine, I don't think I would have a problem with anything anyone picks being the one.
Well, I'm going next, and I think that Miyazaki himself would maybe be a little hot at me for picking this one, but I'm picking Nausicaä.
So you're saying he peaked at the beginning?
He'll take me out.
Nausicaä goes hard. It really does.
I think it's really imaginative, and it's got all the messages that are in all the other movies kind of separately in kind of one thing. I think it's really special because it's the only time that he made a movie where he didn't have every resource. And so the animation has to be a little scrappy at times. It gives it a different feel. I think it's really charming how you can see that there's like stop motion stuff with the big caterpillars and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just gonna root for anything where you see somebody, like an artist who has a really big idea and not all the tools to pull it off, and they cut every corner to make it happen.
So
I
here's
think
my question is, have you read the manga?
I have not.
I haven't either, but I recently got it. Because Miyazaki, before he made the movie, wrote and drew this giant comic.
Right.
That is Nausicaä, and then he adapted his own work. But I'm so curious about how he changed this thing that he had, because obviously, like, it's the kind of thing that, you know, it's dense. He spent years writing and drawing that thing, and then was so passionate about it, he's like, I'm gonna turn it into a movie.
Which is great, because he's already got the storyboards.
Exactly. It is kind of the Rosetta Stone for Miyazaki in so many ways. It's like, it's got environmentalism. It's got plucky female protagonists. It's got flight.
Flight,
Oh,
very important.
he's like an Ozzy Osbourne song. Everything is about flying.
That's fair, flying's cool.
Every Ozzy Osbourne song, it'll be like spooky, and then at the end he's like, and I want to fly. It's crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, flight comes up in almost every one of his movies.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yep.
That's
Howl's Flying
Castle in the
Castle.
Sky.
Exactly.
Time.
Spirited Away, you know, she's like riding on Haku the dragon, flying around.
Porco Rosso, literally.
About a pilot.
You brought up Porco Rosso. That was the other one I was kind of battling with choosing, because flying pig with a mustache, oh my God.
He's so cool though.
He's so cool.
kind of like that's like a hot guy. That's like
Punches Nazis.
He's got that,
Yeah.
he's got like how Tony Soprano is hot because he's confident.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Now I'm imagining Tony Soprano as Porco Rosso.
Oh my God, Gandalf, it should have been Gandalf.
Should have been.
In the American dub, I think Michael Keaton
It's
did his
Michael
voice.
Keaton, which is like why, like I love Michael Keaton.
I was like,
Huge
that's
Michael
fine.
Keaton fan. I think that Michael Keaton is on that because of a SAG contract. We have to take that out of the conversation. We have to,
Subs only.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. This is subs over dubs. Absolutely.
For the sake of our discussion, we're not getting into
Every one of us
the
is a sub.
general.
I've been a weeb for such a long time. That debate is like as old as time.
Yeah.
So the movie that I picked, this is my favorite Miyazaki film, is My Neighbor Totoro.
Yes.
What a trash pick. How could you select that?
All right,
Oh
fine,
my
I'm
God.
leaving. Really special memories for me. This was one that I would watch over and over again, like in that kind of binge watching that I did of watching all of those movies over and over again. I'm not gonna say it was just because Cat Bus.
It could just be.
It was
Cat
just
Bus.
Cat
It's
Bus.
okay
Yeah,
to
but-
love Cat Bus.
It was just Cat Bus. It's literally just 100% Cat Bus. There's so much culture in this that like I didn't have a frame of reference for, that I didn't like understand, that is so like much fun to learn about. The forests look like you could like just lie down in like the moss and just be covered in the love of Mother Nature or like whatever.
Or lie on the belly of Big Totoro.
Totoro.
Oh my God.
I just love
I want
him
to cuddle.
so much.
I had a friend who had a Totoro beanbag chair and it was the best thing.
That's such a good idea. This is a new setup for this show. I feel like we should change it up each time. Let's get some Totoro bags
I
next
would
time.
love.
I would chill
Totoro.
so hard.
Yeah,
on a Totoro
my new
bag.
rider for future episodes is I'll only speak on camera if I'm sitting in a Totoro beanbag chair.
And also, I
Guess we gotta find
demand.
it in the budget.
I demand an RC cat bus.
I watched Totoro on Toonami when I was a kid, and I didn't really get it. But then I actually like read up on it like as a post-war film, and a lot of it, like rewatching it, like so much of Miyazaki's work is like in reference to the war, what kind of happened to Japan as a result of the war, and also like the industrialization in Japan, like in comparison to the country. And you know, it's clear that he has like a lot of love for the country out there, and like Totoro is so much like about that.
And Totoro is one of those like kind of the perfect Miyazaki thing where, you know, you look at it and it's like, oh, right. beautiful, like serene G-rated children's movie. Oh, but also like their mom is like in the hospital with like an unnamed illness, and there is this like current of melancholy through the whole thing. But like Totoro, it's kind of beautiful because it's kind of plotless.
Totoro is like, dude is like prepared. Like what you need some food, you need a little umbrella, you need a cat bus. Like what do you need? I have you.
You need a bed, I'm a bed.
I wish that was my bed. I wonder if Snorlax is based on Totoro. I don't have a Totoro, but I do have a Snorlax.
You know, I would bet yes. They are very similar in a lot of ways.
He's very Totoro-like. He's just chilling, and that's what you need sometimes.
Who doesn't love a big, sleepy, fuzzy guy?
Yeah.
That's like half my dating history.
You're delivering like another Miyazaki stinker. I brought
Delivering, nice.
Kiki's delivery service.
More flying. I was saying, yeah, more flying.
More flying. I did bring my Steelbook Blu-ray.
That's real
Wait, I'm gonna close it. I think Spirited Away is his best movie. I think that is his masterpiece. Kiki's Delivery Service is my personal fave. This is, I think, one of the great movies ever made about being a freelancer and turning your your hobby into your job. It's about a young witch who, as we all know, when they are 13, they get a broom and go away from home for a year and live in a city.
Yeah.
Them's the rules. The city that she goes to, which is unnamed, it is this perfect kind of Scandinavian-ish city, and it's overwhelming. She's stressed out. She gets a job at a bakery where she gets to live in the apartment they have over the bakery, and she delivers stuff, and over time, she gets burnt out and loses her ability to fly, to do the thing that she like loves to do and made a career out of, and then has to like take a break from work and hang out with this cool lady who lives in the woods who's a painter. And then it builds to this spectacular action climax with like a Zeppelin crashing into the city and like her best friend, a cool guy who's dressed kind of like I am now.
I was waiting to say that.
His name is Tombo. Was I him for Halloween once? Yes, I was. It really hit me when I got like really burnt out from work like a few years back. And from just like the grind of making videos for the internet, and I like couldn't think anymore. I had to take a week off, and I watched Kiki's Delivery Service, and I just sat there and cried. And I'm like, oh my God, this is, I saw the movie through new eyes. It's not Miyazaki's best, it's my favorite. And I part of why I wanted to pick it was I was like, Spirited Away and Prince Mononoke and Totoro were, I feel like, kind of the like canonical, like the immediate.
The big three.
This is kind of like the second tier down from like, you start with one of the big three, and then if you're like, I like this, then what's like, this to me is like your next step with Miyazaki.
You brought up just like crying at a Miyazaki film. That is such a special cry, I feel. It feels like a big relief, and it's very specific. It's not like crying at a lot of other movies.
The cry that you get from this is like, it's an earned cry. It's not a like, man, screw you, Avatar. Why? I didn't even like this movie. Why are you making me cry like this? You know what I mean?
There's something really cathartic about the cries in this.
Yeah.
So now, folks, it is time for us to make one of the hardest decisions we'll ever make, which is which one of these four perfect masterpieces do we unanimously agree to put on the staff picks wall?
I think Nausicaä, because it has a pretty traditional narrative structure to it, and it's using a lot of tricks that you're used to with Western animation. It feels like an easy gateway point to anime, but I also just, I don't think that this is something you really need that for. Most people can watch any of these and be into it.
Okay.
So I think we can take Nausicaä out.
So you're killing your own choice. You're pulling a Patrick.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're all abdicating.
This one time.
We're all abdicating. I think that there is something to be said about putting up someone's best piece of work, which I think we can all admit is Spirited Away. I love all of these. We can always find a loophole to put them in our best ever video store.
Just because a movie doesn't like win in an initial discussion
It's not
against
dead
another
forever.
movie.
Yeah, it's not disqualified.
We don't throw it in the trash.
No. What are we gonna never talk about Terminator 2 again? That's crazy.
We can't get through one shooting without talking about Terminator 2.
No.
Stay here. I'll be back.
We've not done it yet. I don't
Nope.
expect us to do it ever.
Yeah. Jourdain, how do you feel about this?
You know, I'm not really much of a ranking person, but I would say that Spirited Away does make, I mean, because it's almost like, as much as I talked about Mononoke, it's clear that like that was the other one that I was going for, but I chose Spirited Away because it seemed like the one, and it still kind of does, so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only real debate comes down to like how we look at the staff picks wall, like the idea behind it. Is it meant to be like the thing that might not be the most obvious one? I mean, this is why I killed my Terminator 2 pick back in the day, because I was like, everyone's seen it. Totoro and Spirited Away are the best known Miyazaki movies.
Yes.
Right.
But then also, there's still movies from Japan that were not like blockbusters in America, that, you know, not like every person who walks into a video store will have seen.
Right.
So I don't know.
That's a really good point. It's not like a Hall of Fame, it's a recommendation. Because obviously this is like first round draft pick, Hall of Fame, Spirited Away. But, I mean, again, we can pick any of those, but that almost makes me think like Nausicaä would be an interesting one for folks who like hadn't seen it yet. And if
We've just never been in a situation where someone's biggest and most popular thing is also just like the strangest thing. Spirited Away is his most popular thing, but also kind of the litmus test for watching his stuff at the same time. Like if you can watch that, you can watch all of it.
So are you voting for Spirited Away?
I'm kind of voting for Spirited Away because
I'm
it's
for it.
crazy.
I mean,
I will agree with that. I wanted to add the other argument on the table, but like I said, I am good with Spirited Away.
yeah, it's a thing where like it is like the biggest blockbuster of these, but it is so unimpeachable. It's like you can't, there's no good argument against it. It is
Any
the
other
best.
person doing this, it would have been a flop. Like if you're trying to do this much stuff, it's like, and then there's like a blob guy, and he turns into a big thing that like eats a bathtub, and then there's like a very esoteric 20 minutes on a train. Like what?
Exactly.
Yeah, without it coming off like saccharine, because I would think like in terms of like the era of animation that came out and stuff like that, I'd be like maybe Don Bluth could try it, but Don Bluth would come off very like maybe too cute, whereas like Miyazaki, like it doesn't matter like how cute the work is, there's still an edge to it.
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that again, this can be like something that is so popular, has done so well, and so good, and it still manages to be so, I don't know if idiosyncratic is like the right word,
Oh, it
but
is,
like
yeah.
it is so idiosyncratic. Like it is so like, this is this dude's work, like right here. It's not like there, you know, because you have a lot of people who do make really good films and really popular films who might even say like, yeah, this isn't like, you know, maybe a little bit more notes on this one I took, or maybe a little bit more Hollywoodized. No, like that's that dude's brain, pried wide open. All right, so that is it for this episode of Staff Picks, where we have chosen Spirited Away. Thank you all so much for watching. This will be going up in our best video store ever. We will see you next episode on Staff Picks.
Do you know the Nausicaä story? It's with Harvey Weinstein, where he got like the rights to Mononoke,
yeah.
and they were gonna do like.
Wait, was this the story about how when Weinstein like wanted to make changes to Mononoke, Miyazaki just mailed him a sword?
Yeah. He mails him a sword and it
one I
says
knew.
no cuts.
That one I knew.
And after that dude has never gotten another note in his life. I'm gonna start.
Sending
I should start doing
swords
it.
to people through
Mailing
the mail?
swords. Just a couple changes.
That's the hottest thing I've ever heard. I'm so into it.
So cool.
It's so quietly threatening.